Hey friend, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, not a single, but a double Two Hearted. Double Two Hearted is an 11% double IPA from Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan. Alright, so you may remember that I reviewed Double Two Hearted last year, just about a year ago, but at that time it was a draft only thing. I had to go over to the brewery in Kalamazoo to pick it up. Now this time it's long awaited, it's finally here, and hopefully still available on a shelf near you. So we're going to cut out all the talk about all this stuff. You know what this is about. We're going to get a look at the label, going to get it into a glass. You can bet your bippy I'm going to bring out a friend to compare it to, and I think you can guess who that friend's going to be. Fun fact, this is called Double Two Hearted because it's hopped at 2.5 times the rate of Two Hearted and uses 4 pounds per barrel of Centennial hops. This is the first time it's been available in bottles ever. Other times it's been draft only. I've had it at Beer Fest, Summer Beer Fest a few years ago, I think 2015. Again, I had it last year on draft in that huge growler. I'll put a link for the video from last time. You can get my thoughts, my ideas on that from last time. But let's take a look at the label here. So first off, I'm going to show you, before I get to cracking it open and all that fun stuff, I'm going to show you the cap from the overhead. This is different than the regular Two Hearted cap. It's the same general design, but the color is different. This is more of a bronzy brown, reddish, kind of rusty, muddy color. And the label is the same. Instead of saying Two Hearted Ale, this time it says Double Two Hearted Ale. It has the two trout on the label. It has, again, it's this reddish, kind of muddy, rusty kind of colored label. And on the bottom, it says Double American IPA, brewed and bottled by Bell's Brewery Incorporated in Comstock, Michigan. Then on the back is where it changes up a little bit. It says everything you love about our classic Two Hearted Ale, now in a double IPA with 2.5 times the amount of Centennial hops. Double Two Hearted has an intense pine and citrus notes, a resinous hop aroma, and rich malt character. Now this says it's a shelf life of 3 months. Alcohol is 11% by volume. This was packaged on August 22nd, 2019. I'm recording this on the 30th. So this was just packaged about a week ago. I picked it up yesterday. By the time you guys see it, it'll be a few days from now. But you should know, obviously, this is very fresh. It just came out, just got released. And it has a PRN number, which I'm thinking is a batch number. But this, again, 3 months. I think that you could probably, 11%, you could probably let it sit for a little bit longer. And I know some people like to let IPAs like this, big IPAs like this, age a little bit. I don't have any problem with that. And I'm going to use my Holmes Tiku glass. I'm going to break out my Guest in a different Tiku glass. We're going to go ahead and judge this one on its own merits first and crack that open. Put the cap to the side there and get a sniff out of the bottle here. Wow, it actually smells really sweet. It's got a lot of malt kind of characteristics coming through, just like the regular Two Hearted has a lot of malty character. Has a lot of citrus notes to it too, which I'm really enjoying, actually. I like the smell of it. I didn't think I would like the smell so much. Let's get this into the glass. Look how bronzy that is coming out of the glass. Very orange and bronzy collecting in the glass. Not unlike normal everyday Two Hearted. We're going to set that bottle right there. And that is, look at that. That's beautiful. It's about 2 fingers worth of head. You can see from the overhead, nice compact bubbles. There's some kind of large ones on the top, but really tight, really compact, really smushed together. A lot of bubbles in that. A little bit of carbonation raising up from the bottom. And let's hold this up to the light. That is a little bit hazy, not clear. And it's not the chill haze from the glass either. Let's put a nose on it. Yeah, big bursting kind of malty sweetness directly out of the glass. Got my nose in, got my nose in there. Wouldn't be a beer review if I didn't get my nose in that foam. More of that kind of citrusy aroma as well. Nice sweet kind of smelling aroma. Really nice, really pleasant. I am ready to dive right in. This is a moment that a lot of us have been waiting for. Again, I had it last year, but this is this year's batch. I'll judge it on its own character. Smells delicious, so I'm going to dive right in. Cheers. Wow, that's got a real big boozy bite to it. Not hiding that 11% very well at all. It's not trying to be subtle. It's not trying to be, sneaky alcohol in there. It's trying to be big, bold, and in your face, and that's what it does. big, huge alcohol notes at the very beginning, really through the whole thing. Medium body, medium mouthfeel, borderline thick mouthfeel, borderline syrupy. So I'm getting that really strong alcohol taste throughout, but I'm also getting this really piney bitterness. Hop bitterness is in there, really big piney hop bitterness. So if you're a big piney fan, if you're a West Coast IPA fan, you'll probably really enjoy this one. It's got a big, again, big piney flavor in there. There's this malt sweetness that's in there, and this malt, orangey, citrusy kind of bitterness in there as well. It's not what I think of when I think of Two Hearted. Two Hearted, I think of that malty kind of bitterness, that kind of malty bite. This doesn't really have that. It actually does have it, but it mixes in a lot better with that piney hoppiness that you generally get. But they're really mixed together a lot better in Double Two Hearted. So I'm gonna bring a buddy out. I'm gonna bring Double Two Hearted's buddy. This is the little brother. This is Two Hearted Ale. This is packaged on June 22nd. So it's about a little over 2 months old at this point. And I'm going to put this in my new Witch's Hat Tracks Night Fury glass. We're going to slide this over just a little bit here. I'm not going to go over the label. You guys are familiar with this, but this, it mentions that it's bursting with hop aromas from pine to grapefruit and perfectly balanced with a malt backbone. I didn't taste much of that malt backbone in the Double Two Hearted. And one thing to note from the overhead that you're going to see here, the bottle cap on this one is a little bit different. As you can see, the Double Two Hearted cap, if that's what this is, Double Two Hearted's cap has 2 fish, and Two Hearted has 1 fish. Same kind of idea, but this one's a reddish brown cap, and this one's a green cap. So you'll see that from the overhead. I'm going to go ahead and crack this open. Again, you should be pretty familiar with Two Hearted if you're from Michigan or the surrounding areas, and Bell's is distributed in quite a few areas now. #1 IPA in the country, rated by somebody that way. So let's go ahead and pour this. And you can already see the difference in color. That is really different. So this is a lot more yellow. It is a lot, and I always think of Two Hearted as being kind of a darker IPA. That is really light compared to this one. It is almost hazy in comparison to this one too. This one's kind of settled down the appearance. Let's get an aroma here. It just tastes it, or I'm sorry, it smells, has the aroma of a really just kind of subtle version of Double Two Hearted. Let's hold this up to the light here. And you can see it's almost hazy in comparison to this at this point, but this has a lot more of a chill haze to it on the glass. That is a nice head. I want to say the head was similar. Maybe we can I'll do a little split screen. You can see freshly poured what they look like against each other. And, yeah, just a subdued Double Two Hearted in this glass, which is a regular Two Hearted. I'm going to take a drink of this one. Much lighter mouthfeel. That grapefruit and that pininess is in there, but I'm getting a little bit more of that malty bite. And I like that a little bit more in regular Two Hearted as compared to Double Two Hearted. I like that maltiness in Two Hearted. That's the signature thing to me, is that maltiness, that grapefruit, that piney bitterness. Mouthfeel of Double Two Hearted is, again, much thicker, much heavier. I'm going to have the same opinion, I think, as I did for my on draft version of Double Two Hearted. Double Two Hearted is awesome. It's a great breakaway from Two Hearted. If you're a big Two Hearted fan and you've had a lot of Two Hearted and you say, I just want to kind of switch it up a little bit. I want some of the kind of something that reminds me of Two Hearted, but I want a different beer. Double Two Hearted fits that bill. But for my taste, for dollars to donuts, I would say that I just like Two Hearted better. I like that it's lighter. I like that I could probably drink 2 or 3 of them. Again, this is 7%, nothing to slouch at. Shelf life 6 months, which I don't really get. That this is a lower ABV beer. And I know there's so many things that go into the shelf life, more than just ABV, but this is an 11% beer. This is a 7% beer. I would just think that shelf life 6 months on the regular, 3 months on the double. It should still be 6 months on the double. Again, I know you don't have to comment. I know that there's a lot more than just the ABV that goes into you know, how fresh you want it to be. I'm sure using much more hops, and the double Two Hearted makes you want to, you know, the shelf life is a little bit shorter. You want to drink that fresher. I just like that I like that Two Hearted just has more sweetness. It's not You're not so weighed down with that alcohol bite that double Two Hearted has. Again, if you're a huge Two Hearted fan and you want to try something different, and you can find this on the shelf, and if you like Two Hearted, you definitely owe it to yourself to at least try double Two Hearted if you see it somewhere on draft. If you see a 6-pack of bottles, and that's a great thing, it's sold in a 6-pack, you need to try it. I definitely wouldn't avoid it. And as it kind of sits here and warms up a little bit, the sweetness kind of comes through a little bit more, and that starts to kind of bridge the gap for me between the two, because this one tastes Two Hearted tastes so much sweeter because you're not weighed, and it's lighter, and you're not weighed down with all that alcohol kind of bite that this one has. You know, I think I'm turning the corner a little bit on the double Two Hearted because I like it a little bit warmer. I think, you know, for my taste, I like it to be. I like it now that it's warming up a little bit. I like that this Two Hearted's really cold, and I do like that flavor. Really close. Again, for me, if I had to pick between the two, if I could only have one of these two for the rest of, for the rest of time, like this, one of these wouldn't exist if I didn't pick it. I would pick regular Two Hearted. I like the flavor profile a little bit better. I like that it's a little bit of a lighter beer in comparison. I like the sweetness that it offers more. I like that it has a really nice, subtle kind of maltiness. Well, I guess it's not too subtle, but it has the maltiness is a little bit more balanced. Whereas this one, it's mixed in really well with the hoppy bitterness. But I prefer Two Hearted on its own, the original. But if you see double Two Hearted on the shelf, you owe it to yourself, if you're a Two Hearted fan, to try this one. I think you can't go wrong with either one. But if I had to only pick one, and I had to eliminate one I had to be Thanos, and I snapped my fingers, and it took me a couple tries to get that. But if I had to snap my fingers and I was Thanos and one disappeared, I'd have double Two Hearted disappear, because I love Two Hearted. It's my favorite IPA. So many people that vote on this can't be wrong. Two Hearted is a great beer. This is a really good mix-up on the formula, and if you want to try something different, you're a Two Hearted fan, double Two Hearted definitely fits that bill. All right, friends, that is the long-awaited, highly sought-after double Two Hearted from Bell's Brewery. Now, were you able to get your hands on this? And if so, what did you think? I know now you've gotten a chance to try. I know you've tried them back-to-back. Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like beer, especially Michigan beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about beer, mostly Michigan beer, but all types of beer, twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free, and it's all for viewers just like you. And you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed, and I'd be very sad about that. Also, I want to start incorporating your questions into these episodes. So you can leave any questions you have on the Draft Therapy hotline at 224-DRAFT-20. You can also join the conversation about craft beer at the Discord link below this video. On that hotline, you can leave voicemails, texts, whatever you want. You can send me a text. You have a question. You don't want to put your real name. You want to say you're, I don't know, John Bobbitt. You can say you're John Bobbitt. Send me a text, and I'll answer the question. Younger viewers, you won't get that. So until next time, Sean from Draft Therapy, thanks for stopping by. And remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries wherever they are, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers. You better believe I'm going to be finishing both of these beers after this video.